Chicken this crispy tastes good with
No.
Chicken crispy.
Chicken. New York City.
Burger.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Wait a minute.
Was on the wrong thing. Okay.
said bread.
I don't know where he got that from.
Oh my god.
Pockets ain't long. Create a Black Wall Street,
Mm,
then they drop.
there we go.
Feel it in your pores. I'm excellent like a mole. Systematic oppression, leaving families torn. We was kings and queens the minute we was born. Treat us like a pawn, imperialize our lawns. If we ain't bearing arms, how we really strong? How we gonna go to war if our pockets ain't long? Create a Black Wall Street, then they dropping a bomb. Manipulate the weather, man creating a storm. Hanging is a norm if you don't want to conform. Loud cases is adjourned without a concern. Racism ain't genetic, it's gotta be learned. That the jail was where they need to be without a return. They say it's free but freedom. Simply gotta be earned. Constitution and old ways. Simply gotta be burned as the world turns. Research cause you gotta discern. Study up, cause there's always knowledge to learn. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole. Why they claim peace instead they giving us war? True ideas in my core, his principles not ignored. Love, truth, and peace is worthy to be explored. Freedom and justice essential so we can soar. As above, so below ain't a motto, but it's a law. Geometry sacred is power can open doors. Why they mention this slavery, but not what happened before. If you want me to vote, reparations they need restored. We deserve more instead of beating down on the floor. Down on the floor, on the floor, on the floor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a mole, like a
Yes, brother Noble. Brother Noble.
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
Oh, okay. I had to make sure I see you. What's going on, people? What's up? Hey, man, there go brother Mohammed. What's up with you, man? Oh, by the way, this man had just had a solar return, man. So clap that man, man. He got a solar return, man. Happy solar return for you,
Yeah,
big
happy
brother.
solar return.
What does that even mean? Let's talk about it. What the solar return is you know, when the sun and the moon and all the planets in our supposed solar system, all the stars in the sign that align at the point in time when you were born, come back to the same place, and that is your solar return. Just
So
put that
much
out
knowledge. Jesus Christ. Yeah. What's going on? What's going on, good people, man? I appreciate everybody that came on to listening and tuning in. So we gonna get right into it. So we did this segment already. We want to talk about it, part two. And I like to call this as the real understanding the discipline. And what I mean by that is, the proper way to do it, if you think it's a proper way, or how people feel about discipline.
you you said what?
Um, the understanding the discipline. Why is discipline so important? And how is a proper way to go about doing discipline in
About
everybody's perspective?
okay, about doing discipline, like say with children or with
You can you
like
can
in
caveat
life.
it
You
both
talking about like in life or what? What you mean?
with life and children, because it's a double ended. question. You know, ain't no right or wrong answer. Just whichever way you want, whichever lane you want to take it.
Okay, okay. Well, can you frame that question a little different? I ain't got the notebook right in front of me, my brother.
What
So
I got?
what do you mean? Like
So
when
the
you hear that question,
understanding.
what do you feel? Like, you know what I'm saying?
What how what is your understanding of what discipline actually is, in your opinion?
Um, well, I understand the concept of spare the rod, spoil the child. You know, that's a real thing. And beyond that, you need disciplines in different things. Like they even call a major focus a discipline. You know what I mean? So, like you're disciplining someone. So, how did a discipline turn into disciplining, and disciplining when someone said they're disciplining their child or disciplining one, they're giving them punishment or a punitive action. You understand what I'm saying? Um,
Mhm.
so it's like that's a whole conundrum all in itself. You know what I mean?
I agree.
For real, because it's a discipline. You know what I'm saying? So how and when did a discipline turn into disciplinary action, and when did disciplinary action turn into physical disciplinary action? You know what I'm saying? Like based off the wording. I'm just saying.
Okay. What
It's like
about you, brother Muhammad? How you feel about it?
I mean, my personal opinion,
I mean, yeah,
disciplinary action is. I felt like, yeah, I gave people something to look for as far as this is the move or this is the strategy they're going for, like how we gonna handle things. Like this is how we gonna handle things on a basis as far as a whole. So when particular situations come up, the action we take when we do this is disciplinary.
yeah. No, I get that.
Times have
Makes sense.
changed, times are getting different. I feel like we got more things to break somebody down than to build them up.
Yeah, well, at the same time, spare the rod, spoil the child. You know what I'm saying? So they need that discipline, but at the same time, when does discipline turn into abuse? When did a discipline, you know what I'm saying? Because a discipline is a focus, you know what I mean? Like the discipline of boxing, that we may cover a little bit later, or the discipline of, karate or kung fu in as many different variations, you know what I'm saying? And taekwondo and
Mm,
aikido and, salat, gumo or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Capoeira, whatever you want to talk about. Those are all disciplines, right? And then when one is disciplined, you understand what I'm saying? They uh, go by a certain book, more or less, as opposed to ones who don't.
yeah.
And then you got disciplinary. So it's like that's a that's actually technically a broad spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Idea and concept that's been changed. So when you hear that, brother Low, what do you feel? What do you hear? You understand what I'm saying? What do you think on that
So,
aspect?
okay. So for me, it's a double entendre. For me, to have discipline is the act of having. Come on now. It's to me, discipline is having a certain level of commitment to focus in on having a better understanding of whatever you want to do. They say in order to become a master with anything, you must have 10,000 plus hours of whatever you do, right?
Right.
So, with that being said, that's the discipline. That should be the main focal point on your focus is understanding the wider spectrums of what you're trying to learn and be more adept in. Now, as a parent, being more disciplined to me is making sure that your child is on in accordance with the path in which they should be on and making sure that they don't fall astray to it. That is to be disciplined because you're constantly giving that act of reinforced discipline. Now,
Okay,
this,
reinforce discipline.
yeah,
Reinforce disciplinary actions or reinforce discipline. What's the
well,
difference?
reinforcing discipline is on a consistent basis because
Reinforce. So you're saying reinforcing discipline. Ah,
yes, 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 yes. So disciplinary actions, it's been misconstrued.
I
And
agree.
now, what I will say, do I believe in, for lack of a better terms, what people like to call disciplinary actions? It all depends. It has to be reprimand that can match whatever transgression that the child had done. I agree to that.
Right.
Now, when we go into beatings and ass whoopings and things of that nature, yeah, that's when you don't do it in accordance of a certain uh explanation as to why you done it, what reasons you're doing it for. You just sitting up here just brutalizing children. No, that's not cool. That's not cool with anybody. I don't care who it may be, especially when you don't even have a reason and beyond that. Children do need to be reprimanded, and I don't hate to say it. Children have to be trained. They have to. But that's just my take on it, from my inner over and understanding of how it is. But yeah, you know. But moving forward. So let's caveat to the next questions, the line of questions we got. The current state of what's going on out here, gentlemen. I'm sorry, not gentlemen. I'm sorry, Moors. But the current state of where we are within the dating market, in all of your Aki's opinion, what would you say both parties have to look forward to? Or do they have anything to look forward to at all from your perspective?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I mean, just in dating. I mean, what do you think is the end all be all for the current state of dating and your
um,
perspective? Like, what the climate as far as where it is right now, where it's going. What does both parties have to look forward to, or do they even have anything to look forward to?
I would say, hopefully, in every situation, one's allow everyone to be who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like me coming up, you know, with a quote unquote certain street aspect background or whatever, you know, and people say I don't trust nobody, shit like that. But I've always agreed to disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? I've always said, in turn, I've always said that one should trust everyone to be who they are.
Hmm.
So if those qualities are the ones that someone is exemplifying, I trust them. I trust that. That's why first impressions matter so much because basically, as they say, image is everything. Or should I say, as it said? Because who is they? They means the Y chromosome. But um,
Hmm. Okay. So I got another. I'll ask Brother Mohammed in a minute, but I want to ask you this as well. So at this point, for you, from your perspective, what does marriage look like within the future for you?
um, marriage for me as a single man, um, with no children, it looks like the options that I have are potentially vast, and for me to settle down with a woman that I consider, you know what I'm saying, or who I would consider or plan to consider in the future, you know, the one that I choose to um, form a family business with, she got to be, you know, on the same page as me eventually, you know, on certain aspects, not on all aspects, because, you know, most people don't agree on 100% of things, but we should agree on at least 85. I would say. You know what I'm saying? At least 75 and working on it. You know what I'm saying? But like you know,
See transpiring in the dating world and dating conversations, as I should say. From my personal opinion, I think that you still got a lot to look. You can expect it or look from the relationship as much as you're allowed to be yourself. I'm gonna have to rock with IKEA on that one. For a simple fact, you're creative, you're inspiring, like all the things that make you you. As long as you're not with somebody that's going to compromise any of those factors, you can always look forward to a lot of things in your relationship in a bright future because you're going to keep growing as a person with the person that you choose to explore with. So if you run out of so-called options or inspiration to keep the relationship going, that's only because you look to the other individual for too much to keep the relationship going. You're not really exuding nothing from your own self. My
So you
personal
saying
opinion on that.
okay? And
like that.
yeah, that was solid. Come did he left? So also marriage to you at this point, what does it look like within your future, Rocky? Same question applies to you.
Marriage to me looks like a union of the minds for real, when it comes
Mm,
down to
expound on that.
it. Because you move very efficiently and it's a lot easier. It's like it's more platonic to love one another when mentally you're on the same page. Like you can be attracted through lust or through financial reasons and stuff like that. But at some point, if you don't unify like mentally on how you're going to carry out your day-to-day things, and like you can even have separate life goals, but if you're unified as far as how you're carrying things out on a day-to-day basis to where it's achievable on both sides, you know what I'm saying? It just makes it really, really fun to do. It's a good experience. You learn things along the way. But yeah, it's a meeting of the minds when you're talking about marriage in the future and people who are looking forward to marriage. You want to get with somebody that mentally you understand how things are going to work. It's been like you said, like most of the time it's like a look, and then you understand what time it is. Like that, where you don't have to always have that person right next to your hip in order to make a decision or to make a move. Like you're sound in the decision that they're going to make with or without
Mm, takes a lot of time. Takes a whole lot of trust. Interesting. It's interesting.
Well, you should trust the one that you're married to.
you.
I mean, you
Yeah,
should. You did say the death
yeah,
do you part. You do realize that, right?
yeah.
You better trust the one that you're laying down with. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I
And they better
would.
trust you.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, because
Uh,
what if somebody run in that motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? You gonna give them up, or like shit, you gonna hold them down. You feel me? You ain't gonna
yeah,
give them up. You gonna hold them down in that situation. You, I would hope. It's damn near you better.
man. Listen,
Even though in a slim
you know
way,
what?
everyone still got a choice. you know.
You ain't never lied on that.
But why make the wrong choice? You know what I mean? And the
Yeah,
right choice is always
nah,
protecting what's yours. So
of course, of course, of course. I definitely agree. Couldn't agree with you more. From my perspective, how the market is, how the dating market is, from my synopsis, where I am as a man. I don't know. I'm at a point now where I'm so enthralled with my purpose that I could care less about the market. Honestly, at this point, the market is the one that understands what my purpose is and is going to align themselves with my purpose and maybe even possibly finding their purpose within that as well. Um, a lot of it to me is cannon fodder. Because honestly, if you're here to lusting over somebody and doing all of this just to get some sexual access to something that may not even be exclusive to you, uh, that's kind of fruitless to me. Um, I believe that.
Yeah, but listen though, remember just a thousand, 1,000 partners, TP. You know,
Mm,
um, I would say this. You know what I mean? It's the way that you look at it. First off, you got to look at it from a positive aspect. Don't look at it from a negative standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, because everybody is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, every most people don't think the same. But um, on the same token, remember what I said. With that, though that little experience might have been traumatic or whatever while it lasted back then. You know what I'm saying? Because it was over by 2017. You understand what I'm saying? And I was free of those of that, right? But also,
mhm.
like I said, I had to point the finger back at myself and even dealing with that. So, what I'm saying, at the young, tender age of 18, when I didn't know shit about red flags, at the age, what I'm saying, that I am today, you understand what I'm saying? It's like now, boom, I know what the fuck is up. See what I'm saying? So I'm looking
Oh,
for the signs and shit. I'm paying attention to what's coming ahead of me ahead of time and not, what I'm saying? Like, if it's some bullshit, keep it pushing. But, you know, um, you don't have to count yourself out or, count yourself out of the dating pool or whatever, and don't have to automatically count everybody else out as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the way you looking at it, one, and then two, know, um, the way you're looking at yourself or looking at not looking at yourself but looking at the red flags, what I'm saying, that yourself sees, like when I say yourself, I'm talking about your gut feeling, what I'm saying, like
yeah.
you see what's going on but you're like, you know what, this person, they seem like they cool and shit, blah blah blah, like fuck making excuses for people in the future, in the present, in the current present now, and then moving beyond. If they show you a sign that you ain't jigging with, what I'm saying, investigate that shit. And if it don't align with where you trying to go with it, then let it go. No point to continue with it.
No, I definitely agree. I look at it like this. It's not even so much a negative connotation with it. I just don't care to look at it in that aspect. Again, I'm more so enthralled with what I have to do with giving my greatest gift to this earth, and
Right.
and, and the bottom line. Like, if they want to align themselves with it, alhamdulillah. But if not, alhamdulillah, that's cool too. Lakum dikum, you go your way, I go my way. But as far as with the pool, I don't really care. Like I used to a tad bit more. Now it's just like, so what? If you don't have vested interest in understanding and trusting my process, because you don't even have to doubt me. I know for a fact I'm going to trust your process if I am the one that's going to be the one that we're going to go ahead and amalgamate with. I don't have to worry about that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's your choice too. It's like your choice who you choose to deal with. Like, you don't have to deal with somebody that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You can choose. You can already choose ahead of time to choose to attract and pull to you somebody that you actually do want. You know what I'm saying?
Of
It's a
course.
choice ahead of time. So now you on that frequency, on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? Ahead of time. So you sending that out, automatically. And as long as you keep focused on that, like fuck the bullshit that's around. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit is in everybody's life. You know what I mean? But don't let that weigh down. You know what I'm saying? Your options. Because if you
Yeah.
look for bad, you're gonna see bad. You know what I'm saying? But if you look for something else, you're gonna see something else too. Now the reality of the situation is that you will see both, but you'll know what to see. You'll have that higher level of discernment, feel me, to know what to fuck with and what not to. And then also know where the part that you personally might have played in any and every interaction. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, um, you might be somewhere and then like a female, the way that you approached her, you know what I'm saying, might have given her a bad reaction. And then at the end of the day, you might be like, man, forget what she talking about. And then when you walk away, you got to think like, yeah, forget what she was talking about. But at the same time, what were you talking about, or how did you approach the situation? Did I approach the situation right or wrong? You know what I'm saying? was that person just tripping? Was it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so these different things need to be analyzed as well. All in all, I would say
You you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Aki. I'm not
that
saying
would
you're not
increase.
wrong
I'm
at
saying
all.
that because I'm in the same. I think on the same aspect as you to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a shame that certain aspects of the so-called dating pool for melanated people is the way it is, and it's because of all these different ills of the world that they keep focusing on our community. You know what I'm saying? So when you in it, you're the product of it. You feel me? But at the same time, it's still those little slivers of golden light. You know what I'm saying? Shining through somewhere. Just because reason why I say that is because I exist and you exist, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a bad dude. You're not a bad dude. So that means if it's somebody for everybody, that means it's a good girl for you and a good girl for me. See what I'm saying?
You know
So
what? Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's people with like no limbs, got a woman that love. So you know what I'm saying?
No,
You
right.
gotta understand, like, it does exist, but it's like it's your outlook. You gotta look in a different direction.
You know what? I'll say this because, and again, you're not wrong for what you're saying. I agree. But from my perspective, it's not even looking at it foreshadowing as it being something bad. I understand what the alignment is. It's Allah, God, and no, it's yeah. If you whatever you believe to be the higher power, Allah, God, man, woman, and child. What you should be doing if you are not aligning yourself up of understanding of what your gift is and trying to get your greatest gift to this world, understanding that and being the representation of Allah through giving your greatest gift in this world, everything else will align itself. So I won't sit up here anymore and go out. Not to say I won't go out, having conversations and things of that nature, but I don't view women as false idols. If I have purpose, I'm not gonna get knocked off my purpose. That's what I'm saying. Like it ain't nothing. Whatever the dating pool, like I said, whatever you want to do, and we can come together and amalgamate and continue to move forward. Hey, alhamdulillah. But as far as that, like, oh man, yeah, baby, I'm not no, because I understand what my greatest gift is. I'm quite sure you understand what your greatest gift is, as does Hamida knows what his greatest gift is. Everything else will fall into place, even if you choose not to want to deal with women on that certain wavelength and or frequency or whichever way. It's going to come to you as long as you understand what you need to be doing, understanding purpose, understanding why you have reason to exist. That's just where my wavelength is. But let's caveat to something else. So I don't know if you gentlemen heard about this situation. I think Brother Muhammad had told me about this. There's a woman on Facebook, and I'm guessing that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Muhammad. It's a woman on Facebook. She's on there. I think she has her friend with her
Uh,
friend, and pretty much what's going on within the situation.
You cool, Aki?
Huh?
what? Yeah, you all right?
I'm good. Y'all fried. So pretty much, long story short, what's going on? I guess he's getting his collecting his things together within the household. The woman's patronizing him, antagonizing him, all in the same sense, and continuously telling him you ain't going nowhere, trying to embarrass him enough so then that way he won't leave. But in fact, it backfires. I don't know what happened within the dynamic of the Facebook Live. I want to say it was on. But long story short, what had happened after that, not too shortly after, we hear gunshots. So now, Brother Muhammad, if you could please elaborate on the story a tad bit more, because I'm just giving this small synopsis of it, so then that way we can further have that dialogue on it, and I appreciate it.
Well, from the I seen the video originally on Facebook.
Yeah,
So with that being said, the woman was questioning the guy about
a co-worker that he was sleeping with, or he was taking extra time at work per se to act out this little love affair. His wife found out about it. Wife, baby mama. So her best friend is at the house too as well. She's recording him her while she's basically airing out his dirty life, saying the things that he was doing. He ain't really studying none of this stuff. He's packing his bag up. He basically asking her, can he get out of his way while he get everything together? And she's trying to stop him so that she can record, her airing out his daily life. So it sounds like in the video because it comes off of him that he went to go get a gun or something like that, a gun that belonged to him or whatnot. And in the midst of a tussle, she got a hold of the firearm and ended up shooting him by accident. I don't know if she was trying to scare him or whatnot because you can hear in the conversation how it was a pause before the shot, as if she was like, "Yo,
Hold on.
go ahead."
Somebody tried to break in their house, or he went to go get a
No,
gun.
basically, he was grabbing his stuff and like he had a firearm in the house, and he went to go grab the firearm. She went to go behind him, I guess, and then they end up having a tussle over the weapon. It sounded like because the camera wasn't on him anymore. So I'm only
Mm.
speculating.
But he died though.
Yes,
Mm.
Wow.
Interesting. I mean,
and
that's
he was
some.
the primary father of her children.
Okay.
So
So
right, I think that's an unfortunate situation. Um, but I don't know, man. It's like you you about to go get the strap because she said she about to go get the strap first, or I mean, like, what type of
She didn't
shit? Like,
necessarily say she was going to go get a weapon. It was just more or less she was being disrespectful, saying things to him. She was putting her hands on him too as well, and kind of like cutting him off, standing in his way. And he was asking her not to do that. She kept doing what she wanted to do, so he said, "All right, yeah." And then he walks off. You can hear say something about a gun. It is a tussle. The camera is no longer on them. The tussle lasts about like 2-3 minutes. It was a decent amount of time. And she, you hear the shot. She immediately starts to yell out frantically, starting to process that, I just shot this dude. It's a possibility I killed him. She's screaming for the best friend to come into the room to help her out and stuff of that nature. And then that's pretty much all you get from there. It's just, a lot of crying in the background and blood.
mm.
interesting. So now you want to cry after the fact that you have done this. So here's my next
Well, I
question.
mean, it's like the. All right, go ahead.
I,
I'll go next.
go ahead, Lo.
No, here's my next question. How could men continue to get disrespected like this? Why is that in your in the panel? In your honest opinion?
In
Go
my
ahead,
honest
go ahead.
opinion, yeah, in my honest opinion, I think that's a fuck situation from both aspects. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think it's just like disrespecting the man and shit. Like, if he is you arguing with your so-called girl or mother of your children or wife or whatever, you're arguing with a woman, and then your bitch ass talking about bet, like you about to go grab a strap and kill her. Like, you that's kind of like some less of a man type shit for in my, you know what I'm saying. So now y'all tussling over a gun and shit like that, and then you end up getting killed and the shit. Like, that's where was your, I mean, you was a weak man at that point, for real, for real. Just to keep it all the way gangster. Like, how you didn't want to end up dead. Men supposed to be stronger and shit. And you talking about, all right, bet. And I'm about, like, you about to go get the strap, and then she tussle you down and then end up gunning you down. Like,
Well, he
that
didn't
don't
say
even
that he was
read.
going for the weapon. He just pretty much
Oh,
stated he just said bet. But that
oh,
was assumed, from any other person listening to it, from my assumption, it sounds like from your assumption, I'd assume the same thing. Yeah, he was going for something.
like, that's, I mean, if anything, I mean, I don't advocate putting the hands of women, but he should have just slapped some sense into that bitch. If it was all of that, like, I mean,
I would have called. I
well,
would have called for help. Like in
call for
situations
help.
like
Then they
that,
gonna laugh at you,
they
but I'm
always
saying,
want to
like,
say they always want to say that you should call the police. But I would have called, a family member, a best friend, like another male that can come over there because the number game always goes in the male's favor at that point. If the woman is trying to put her hands on him, it's too many people here. Now they all got to account for witnesses too as well. So if these people are here to separate you from him or him from you, however way it is going down, and somehow you still making your way to assault the man, that's all on the female. It does nothing but help out, in my
Yeah.
personal opinion. Because even with you calling the police, you can be fearful of your stuff. They'll tell you if you could get away from the scene, get away from the scene. But a lot of people don't have the money to just replace their stuff or renter's insurance in case of situations like that. So
Oh, when people just constantly fucking your shit up. Oh yeah, I would say
right,
restrain their ass.
they
Yeah,
would say,
hold them down, restrain them, and get them the fuck up out your shit. Wow. And then yeah, that's all.
if it's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
spot, it looked like the man was leaving, so he
Mm,
was, it could have been a woman's spot originally, or he just felt like she could just go ahead and keep it because their children are in there. He was
right.
packing his stuff to go. But in
But
that
can I?
situation specifically, go ahead, Aki.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No.
In that situation specifically, it does fall on both of them. The reason why masculinity is being disrespected to the degree it is today is for the simple fact that men do not know how to appraise their masculinity properly. They don't know the true value of themselves. So
Good
they
point.
just give a lot of themselves away for little to nothing, or they find up in weird ass situations like this because they don't know their true value. Which is why the
Oh,
women disrespect them the way that they would disrespect them too, or us, because we're the ones that are supposed to be able to teach them what our value is. That's pretty much what women have been doing over the years anyway to men, for men to know and understand women to the degree that they understand them today, because women have been saying, my value is this. And through men trying to do that and having to upgrade themselves or, perform at a certain level to get that certain type of woman, that's when they start to learn their value and they understand how much they just gave away from little to nothing.
okay. Okay.
Because you got
That's
too many young
interesting.
guys who build themselves up, straight A's, go getter, know how to make money, probably high five figures, but mid five figures. That's still accomplishment. They don't have no children or anything like that. Good social skills, soft skills, and they'll give it all to a woman just for the satisfaction of having sexual consummation.
Access as well. Um,
Um. Okay. Okay. I was gonna say, is this like when I'm fucking with a chick? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, at one point in time, I had I had sex with this girl way too soon. You know what I'm saying? It was like the first day I met her, and then as we were having sex, she told me that she loved me. Right? You can't love. You don't know me enough to love me. That's a sign. That's a red fucking flag of the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really the wrong thing, right? That's a red flag. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so with me dealing with somebody or whatever, and they just start saying ill shit, like, or they give you that look, like, or yeah, they start telling you stories like, yeah, I went crazy on this, da, 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 and you choose to go into this as a relationship, like the outcome that you get from that, that's really your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like masculinity getting disrespected and this and that. Well, you chose to deal with a disrespectful feminine that's gonna, disrespect the masculine. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Like certain people, they give off these signs and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like watch what you do. Pay attention. Attention is the highest form of payment. Period. Point blank. Pay attention. They show you what the fuck they gonna do. If they start talking that shit, that crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, well, hey, I just dodged a bullet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to consummate the marriage with you anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't, we don't have to propagate a lineage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But see, the thing is, guys. So look, this is what I'm saying. When women are dictating their value to a certain degree when it comes down to men, because they're at least making men have to
some,
come and pay a certain fee to get to them if they're running their
some,
hand like that.
if yeah,
To,
some
to,
men,
to you got some guys that's paying crazy amounts of money just to lay with a woman or stepping and fetching for her in ways where another man didn't even have to do that. And that's what I'm saying. If guys understood that
right?
more, Then we'll put it like this: if you feel like you was a leader, if you're a man that thinks like you are a leader, or you think you are a man that thinks that the man is the leader of the household, why are not your thoughts ruling the relationship, and your girl is allowed to feel the way out? If your thoughts, if you're leading properly with your thoughts, then your woman should her feelings is going to express that she likes you or she don't like you. If she don't like you, she out of there. If she do like you, then we all to the good. But if you're getting in a woman with straight just emotions ruling all of your actions, once the emotions fade away, yeah, you are lost because you're looking to the woman to lead because you let the emotions lead the relationship. That's her domain.
Right. I totally agree.
So men have to understand what the purpose is they're gonna have for the women that they're chasing. If you solely just chasing a woman just for sexual gratification, you're going to get lost because now you're looking for the woman to keep up that lustful, you know what I'm saying, factor to keep the relationship going because that's all it was built off of. You don't have no goals for this woman to do anything but to be freaky with you. On the side, she can cook and clean, but what else do you have in store for her? You got her accidentally pregnant. You didn't even want to have children with her for real, but you're going to take care of her because of how she looks. But then you get mad if she starts to blow down on you about where her life is going. Why? Because she's let you have access to certain parts of her that she didn't even think about properly because she put her faith in you. So now it hits even double hard.
No,
If
that's
you're a guy
true.
that believes that you're a leader, if you get with a woman that thinks that the man should be leading the household too, you really have to have a plan as far as how you're going with you and this woman, or at least tell her up front. So y'all can come up with a plan together. So at least she knows what she's getting into. But once she knows that y'all supposed to be coming up with something together like a real partnership, well, now she has to assume 50% of responsibility too as well. And when you keep the actions of the relationship up front like that, it's harder for women to really get pissed off with you or blow down on you. Because now they understand either I'm gonna stay and this is what I'm getting from this relationship, or I'm gonna go and explore the unknown and see what I can get from it. But she can't sit there and cry about it, regardless of the outcomes, because you had a choice.
No, that's real. Yes, from my perspective, I think it is very cowardice to the extent to where if you had to do something, but even to avoid that, like I said before on the show, and I'll revisit this, and this is just a caveat. The best thing that you can do when dealing with anybody, because you are the prize asset, is removing yourself from the situation. And I know from experience, it's easier said than done. But we can just go a foreshadowing. Say, for instance, is like I said, this situation, or you may have a situation where you have somebody to the extent to where they, such as a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the guy that was a part of his religious aspect, his hair, and then someone put nair in the shampoo, and then all his hair came out.
Facts.
So now he subpoenas you, and then he sues you for 12,000, but he can sue you for a lot more. The whole part, the whole point of everything is what I'm trying to say. You don't know a person's core values. And the problem is that masculinity has been disrespected in such a high regard to the point where they feel as if they can get away with highway robbery. But we were in a more simpler time, such as the West. A lot of people wouldn't have the same type of I don't want to say energy. They wouldn't carry themselves or conduct themselves a certain type of way because they know a lot of people aren't going to be there to save them. We want to talk about equal rights on both sides. Yes, he shouldn't have never done that because that was some sucker shit. I'm not going to stand for that, and I don't stand for that. But the flip side of that is, why are you standing in the way of anybody when they're choosing to exit? Why would you even want to even reluctantly make that as a choice, standing in somebody's way? And we have to have better understanding in order to guide one another. What I'm saying is this: I tell my nieces and nephews, I tell mine all the time. You go out here in this free world, one thing that everybody has to have, regardless of matter what happens, regardless of matter how they conduct themselves, have a certain level of respect and decorum. You do not know what somebody is going through. You don't know their core values. It's some people that live for those quote unquote coon moments, I'll say. That's just my perspective of it. We already talked about that.
Okay, well, uh, yeah, yeah, that's an interesting perspective, interesting topic. You know, but one thing before we go too far, I do want to more importantly take the time, what I'm saying, before I go to the next thing, is I want to bring up the subject of is it Rasheem Carter, the young
Rashid
brother,
Carter.
Rasheem Carter, yeah, the young brother down in Mississippi who was, lynched and beheaded still in 2023.
It's not a game.
Lynching and beheading in Mississippi.
Wow.
You know,
And what was the reason behind this? What was it motivated from?
crackers being crackers, crack ass crackers being crackers. Period. Point blank.
So
Racist
they just
motherfuckers.
seen one day and
So
just dogged him.
so what what brought upon that brother's early demise was the fact that he, I guess, got into it with one of his, his so-called boss, his employer.
Okay.
He got into it with his employer, and because of that interaction, um, uh, they hunted him down and they killed him in the forest, like, or took his body to the forest. They might have killed him and brought him there, saying to behead him and shit like that, or they kidnapped him and brought him there and killed him there and decapitated him there, but his body parts was, you know, um, basically flung all over the place, and his head was recovered after, and not with his his body. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. So, prior to his death, he had contacted his mother and let her know that, I got into it with my boss or whatever, or like, we had a disagreement, and if anything happens to me, he done it. So uh, since then, the employer has been getting death threats. His whole family's been getting death threats. His children and everybody else. Saying associated with him. Saying the internet is going in on it. And fortunately, shout out to let me give give a special shout out in America Girls with Fucking Balls to Cardi B, because Cardi B, in her platform, she actually shed light on the brother Rasheen Carter, to a big community that wouldn't even know anything about this tragic event, this tragedy. You understand what I'm saying? Um, what happened to the young brother, 25 years old, like, you know what I'm saying? He old enough to be my little brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
That's
So
sad.
yeah, it's super sad. Like, make you want to cry type sad type shit. Like, damn, bro, he got his head cut off. You know what I'm saying? So what the pain that his mother has to go through. You understand what I'm saying? The pain that that community has to go through. All of that shit. This is different from all of the mass, shootings that they keep promoting. You know what I'm saying, in America, in United States. This is a totally different scenario. And the crazy thing is that it still persists in 2023, where a melanated male was hunted down like a wild animal, and captured and tortured. You know, in his last moments, what did he see? You understand what I'm saying? And they killed him, murdered him, slaughtered him, and then took his head off. his skull was found. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, and the thing about it, he didn't like it didn't have any skin and shit on him. You know what I'm saying? Like his skin
They
was
skipped.
totally it was his skull was bare, like, you understand what I'm saying? And that, like, the
Uh,
deterioration, the rate of deterioration, how the fuck did they deteriorate him that to that point? So, them fucking racist devils in Mississippi, you know what I'm saying, who murdered that child, you know what I'm saying, because he was nothing but a child for real. 25, you still a child for real, man. Like, you grown, but you a child. Like, you a grown child at that point. You're not really a child, but it's like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I don't even got no children, but just, man, like, you know what I'm saying? I remember how my mother used to worry about me for, you know what I'm saying, and I'm still here. Like, you understand what I'm saying? 15, 20 years later, you know what I'm saying, from the time when I was under the same auspices or something like that. You feel me? Like when I was a teenager and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like crazy. When your mom used to worry about you shit, coming home at night. You understand what I'm saying? And then now, her son never come home, and he got his head cut off. And these devils,
Yeah.
these devils did his body to a point where they disintegrated his skin. And you know what I'm saying? Lie and things like that don't deteriorate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't get well. That's what they had to use. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever they use to dissolve and accelerate the decomposition of everything. Like his skull was like a skull, like you would see in the science room and shit. And this only happened like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So that means that these devils still is out here taking trophies. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they used to
yeah.
chop body parts off and shit. Like, where is this young brother's eyes at? You understand what I'm saying? Where's his tongue at? Where, understand what I'm saying? Where's his organs at? Like, this is some bullshit. That this shit is still fucking happening. Like, people ain't really looking at the severity of this situation, and the another a major slap in the face in this is the simple fact that they again called they hired this coon ass nigga Crumpton. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, you know, I've always been shit. Like, I've always um, came with the notion of not really trusting men without a mustache. Like, if you purposely cutting your mustache off and shit. Like for real though, like real shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like men, melanated men, so-called black men, Moorish men, you know what I'm saying, who cut all their facial hair off and shit. In my opinion, I think they have date rape face. That's what I call it, date rape face. That's why I'm clowning you. Like, how you got date rape face? Unless it's a medical issue, or like you say you did something dumb and you just got to make a big chop for it to grow back. You know what I'm saying? So in that short time period, I've made fun of plenty of friends. You know what I'm saying? But
But why it
they
gotta be
weren't.
date right though?
I know, it's fucked up, right? But it's like, how can you trust a man without a mustache? Like, it's just a person that's purposely cutting off his mustache. Like, if you look throughout the annals of history, the people that, what I'm saying, cut their mustache off, they ended up being the fucking snake. This dude who I mentioned is in every single, anything that happened to anybody melanated, he's always there to go and say, hey, bring the peace. He's the new Sharptons. You know what I'm saying? Like, just on a whole different level as a lawyer. And don't get no justice every single time. Like, this shit is a fucking mockery of justice, and it's an embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking embarrassment. And yeah, so anyways, melanated men who cut all their facial hair off, that's what Europeans do. If you pay attention, you know what I'm saying, just pay attention that you'll see a lot of European men in high positions with no facial hair. You know what I'm saying? Why do they do that? I don't know, because I'm not a European male, but I know as a melanated man, when I see, one of us with no facial hair purposely, like, you know what I'm saying, that's some odd shit. That's like a snitch or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just one cat who I went to school with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen this dude, one of my other, past schoolmates or whatever, showed a picture of this dude, You know what I'm saying? He was fucking with a child. He was fucking with someone like a teenager and shit who wasn't of the age that, you know what I'm saying? Obviously because he's a fucking teenager and his dumb ass got, he got served up on the platter basically to probably the, uh nasty Nate of whatever penitentiary he in. For real,
No, he jungle of love.
right, whatever, whatever penitentiary he in. But at the end of the day, it's like the picture that they show on the internet of him, you know what I'm saying? Like he ain't got no facial hair and shit. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's date rape face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where I get that from. Like people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you look weird. You look like you trying to look younger for little girls. You know what I'm saying?
You funny as that.
That's just how I think when I see a man, especially a melanated man, grown man, who purposely cut all their facial hair off. Trimming and getting a haircut and shaving, whatever, that's one thing, but you cutting all your facial hair off, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, dog, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that that image of that dude is in every single time one of our people get, accosted by, you know, a European. He's always on the forefront trying to keep the peace, and lots of the people talking about they some type of shit, and they never get no justice. They may get some money though, like that brings somebody back. You know what I'm saying? But no justice is just, he good for that settlement. Like
Non-disclosure agreement, huh?
that's a fucking embarrassment, man. But you know,
It is.
mm. So
Wow.
I just wanted to bring light to that brother, man. That's all.
I appreciate it. I did not know anything of this. I don't have, that's, it's
You,
not shocking,
you got a son,
but
shit. You know what I'm saying? You got a
it,
son that you want to come home. You know what I'm saying? When he get old enough, because obviously he ain't. Yeah, he probably got to come in before the lights. You know what I'm saying? On the outside,
right.
but one day he's gonna get to the point where he ain't coming in when the lights come on. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna want to stay out there a little bit later, maybe, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he, coming from work and shit like that, and his ride mess up, and it's after dark. Like you want to, whatever the scenario is, you want him to come home. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
You feel me? So it's like I just wanted to give strength to that woman. I don't know her name. It might be Miss Carter or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, that mother who got to go through that pain, man. Like that's some serious shit right there. Real
This
talk.
shit ain't cool, man.
Hell no, it ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? But what else is ain't cool is like how they played the scenario where she would have to be out there mourning for her son alone. Because it should be her father right along with her. Like, you know what I'm saying? They played the scenario so good on our people that, it broke apart the family structure that needs to be there. You understand what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
when I used to ride the bus, the one thing I used to like, you know what I'm saying, was when I seen a couple on there hugged up. Like shit, yeah, they on the bus, yeah, they struggling, but they on that bitch together. You know what I'm saying? To try to
Yeah,
make a better way. That's real love. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because excuse my French, a lesser bitch would have bounced on a brother who was down and out, or lesser dude would have, you know what I'm saying, bounced on the woman who was down on her luck. You understand what I'm saying? But when they stuck together, you know what I'm saying? They stuck together.
You appreciate it. But you know what I've noticed throughout the years?
That
When
shit.
you go through something
Yeah,
like that, certain adversities, you appreciate that person that much more. And you
yeah,
are willing to do more for them just for the fact of them staying by your side.
exactly.
That is so appreciated. You know what? If anybody ever took the bus with me, and it's been only a rare few, and we still had fun, we still went to the mall, man, you know what? To this day, I wouldn't have any problem with giving them whatever they solely desired. If it was in my power to do, I have no problem doing
Facts.
it. No problem.
But that's why, and see, the thing is, like when it comes to men, it truly is, the smaller things that count. You
Are
know
they
what I'm saying?
cooking?
You know what I'm saying, that adage, you know what I'm saying, goes with us more or less. You know what I'm saying? It's the small things that matter. You know what I'm saying? It's just small things that matter. It's not the superficial big shit. It can just be the small things that
I
I'm
agree.
paying attention to. Like the other day, you know, um, never mind. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. How you doing? How
Don't
you
worry
doing, brother?
about
You know what I'm saying? But oh, one last thing I want to get on.
it.
I want to talk about the Dalai Lama old senile ass. You know what I'm saying? Senile pedophile and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just because that motherfucker senile don't mean he ain't a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? They trying to
That's
justify. I seen articles of motherfuckers trying to step out and defend. You know what I'm saying? The Dalai Lama because he's old and senile and shit. Well, if he's old and senile, why the fuck is y'all offering up a little ass boy? You know, offering up a baby to an old senile pedophile. You know what I'm saying? And y'all doing that shit on national internet. It might not have been on well, it might have been on their national TV, but it's on international internet, you idiots. And so the world seen that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's people
Their
that
community
try
leaders.
to step out and defend that shit. And what it is, they try to use religion to stand in front of their pedophilia actions. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit right there. Off with they fucking heads, man. Off with they fucking heads.
They look
Every
at it
single.
as a sense of luck.
What'd you say?
They look at it as a sense of luck,
They look at it as a what?
as a lucky thing.
Well, off with their lucky head. You know what I'm saying? Off with their lucky head or castrate their lucky balls. You know what I'm saying? Real
Now,
shit. Say what?
uh,
What'd you say?
so let's expound.
Well,
So
expound on.
what do you think?
Go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
So what do you think as far as them doing that?
Mhm.
I will say this
We
though.
already know.
Y'all know the African
Let him
country
finish.
where
Let
they
him
got
finish.
the
Let him finish.
woman president.
Huh?
You said what?
Y'all know the African country where they got the woman president.
Interesting. No, I do not.
Huh?
Noble started on a couple shows back, but I think she probably heard one of Noble's shows, one of our shows with Noble was Grand because she's passing laws to where now for any child molestation or rape, the victimizer will be castrated,
Good.
and if it's against a child,
Dang.
they're going to be put to death.
Good. Let me clap for that woman. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my clap on. Yeah. That's what
Equality.
finally, you know what I'm saying, someone is listening. You know, I mean, the reason why the reason why, I always vouch for someone, such as that who was afflicting or, afflicting harm on someone like that is because you're still in their innocence. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like it's debatable if rape is worse on for a man or for a woman. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's worse for a man, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not meant to be penetrated, whereas women are. But the mental, uh, ramifications of that ordeal, you know what I'm saying, is traumatic in a sense in both, you know what I'm saying? So who am I to say who's never been through that and say what's worse for whom? But at the end of the day, the reason why um I vouch that ones who afflict that on people, you know what I'm saying, should be castrated is because now you take away the sexual urge. So even if they ass ever do get out there, never, you know what I'm saying, they can't even think about this, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you make a eunuch. It was castrating them. You know what I'm saying? Like the eunuchs be like the dudes who protect the harems, you know what I'm saying, or protect the whorehouses, protect the brothels. It be them dudes and shit. They ain't got no balls. That's why they in there. They don't got the sexual urge. You know what I'm saying? They not raping no women. They dick ain't even getting hard. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But it's like shit. They eunuchs. So now you taking
You
away
know,
now you taking away the sexual urge and shit. Now they can't do it no more. It's over.
no, I
You took away they took
I'll
you
say this.
took away someone else's choice when you did that, when you took away someone else's choice, now your choice is taken away.
I mean, but
See,
so they lose all sexual urge, Aki.
They lose their sexual
But
urge,
what,
bro.
what, what
It's
about the
over.
guys who do vasectomies?
Huh?
What about men who do vasectomies? Straight males.
that's a good point.
They
That's
not
a
getting
really
they
good
they
point.
not getting their balls chopped off. They just chopping off the they're severing the connection between the vas deferens tubes, you know what I'm saying? All of that, you know, all of that shit.
I mean, you got guys who get their balls completely removed, and you got guys who get them tied off, but the actual
No,
connection to the balls is now
castration
is disrupted, right? So
yeah, castration is your balls taken off, or you know what I'm saying, your balls taken out, or at least one of your balls taken out. You know what I'm
basically,
saying?
I'm saying it's
The snipping is they just snipping something, bro. They snip and tuck, like how when a chick get her when a woman get her tubes tied. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same situation. It's not they're not actually getting their balls chopped off. It's like it's a connection in there. You know what I'm saying, to make sure that the sperm never gets to the point where it can have babies. You know what I'm saying? Like they do certain things where the ejaculation, you understand what I'm saying, is not containing sperm.
okay,
Right?
man.
Yeah, it's some other shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of it's slightly different. It's slightly different. Like a person who took the snip, you know what I'm saying, they still can have the urge. You know what I'm saying? They can still, I don't know, I guess still perform regular, but without the um the fear or the worry of having a baby. You know what I'm saying? Because that connection is gone. But castrating is in my opinion that will take away that sexual urge. You know what I'm saying? Based off the few things that I've read, but maybe it might not.
You better than me out here.
Huh?
I ain't gonna lie.
Chop that shit off, man. You taking some ass, and you got to pass on being able to get hard again. They can chop that shit off. Wow, no more balls for you. Same thing for a woman though. You know what I'm saying? Maybe shit in some African countries, unfortunately, they sold a woman up. You sold the fuck up. You out here, you know what I'm saying? You out here putting that pussy on little kids and shit that's
Yeah,
not ready for sex and shit. You know what I'm saying? Boom, they sew your ass up. You know what I'm saying? Now you can't. Now you just can't fuck. You know what I'm saying? Cause your shit sold up.
nah, man. I think they just need to be. You don't
Woo.
want to tell me tell. I don't even want to say what I do. Whatever they did to whomever, hey, it is fair game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right, but I mean, you got to have some type of, some type of system, systematic disciplinary for that, for whatever punishment. You know what I'm saying? On in an eye for an eye situation, shit, you raping as a man, then you shit, they gonna castrate you and then put you back in there, maybe with nasty Nate. So now you just like that innocent that you took. Because now you technically innocent because now your sexual urge is gone. You don't even know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
And you getting ramrodded. You know what I'm saying? So that's the worst that's the worst reality. So you know what I'm saying?
but my personal opinion, they need to just be destroyed in all. Being made to an example, but being destroyed to a point where we don't have to sit around and worry about what is. Not to say that there will be, but I don't even want to have to worry about
Right,
you. I just want to.
where there's nothing to worry about if you look at the science of it, you know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
That's
I
what
ain't gonna, I
happened.
ain't gonna have to worry about somebody that the groundhog is a goddamn mailman either. So
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's true too. You know what I'm saying? That's true. Either way, but the moral to the story is, they are using religion to mask, these atrocities, these atrocious acts, you know what I'm saying, to against children and innocent people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that shit needs to stop. Somewhere along the lines, the general populace or even the not general populace like Moors, we're not part of the general populace per se, you know what I'm saying? But we may domicile, you know what I'm saying, around amongst ones. And we need to come together as Moors, as Moors people, and disallow these acts to happen to our children. Now it's unfortunate the things that happen to our melanated folk. But at the same time, if ones ain't gonna stand up for themselves and they're gonna keep getting fucked over by this European and then praying for him and dumb shit like that. Like I don't want nothing to do with your dumb ass. Then if you gonna do that, I'm not with praying for my enemy and shit. Fuck out of here. I ain't with that shit. Period. I ain't with that shit. Period. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if that's what you want to do it over there. And I'm gonna do this over here. And I'm gonna protect my shit over here. You know what I'm saying? Cause you got me no. No, no, no. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way that things is gonna not be like that.
I agree. I don't think anybody on the panel is disagreeing with you, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying far with you.
yeah, and fortunately, we haven't, that hasn't been an issue. You know what I'm saying? That's not an issue when it deals with, more science or anything like that. But it's like, man, for those religious persuasions out there, you know what I'm saying? Um, that shit is very unfortunate. It's
That's
very unfortunate. I've seen, clips of rabbis sucking a baby dick right after, what I'm saying, they got circumcised, sucking the blood out. Like that's homo as fucking and giving that little baby herpes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen clips of that shit. You know what I'm saying? People shy away from speaking on religious leaders and shit like that, but you ain't doing the fucking work of, any god. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of your religious persuasion, when you're doing things against, you're doing things against the most innocent,
I
which is
agree.
children, period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for, these Catholic priests, these Baptist preachers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Why you think all the homosexuality is running rampant in certain so-called black churches and shit like that? You understand what I'm saying? Because they freaking on the boys in the basement and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why
No,
that
that's
shit,
real. That's
like
real.
real shit, you know, and all these little girls that been touched on by, what I'm saying, a so-called man of the church and shit like that, and they gotta keep quiet because they parent they you know uh the coonery and the brainwash is so ingrained in, what I'm saying, in the community and shit that, what I'm saying, they gotta live with this trauma to the point where where these women think that it's normal for this shit to happen. Like all of that bullshit needs to stop. You understand what I'm saying? That shit needs to stop. And the whole thing about it is just like this fake ass government, which is public servants, what I'm saying? They work for us and they got us thinking. When I say us, I'm talking about the collective, what I'm saying, general populace. Because again, more, we don't think that the government, we know the government is public servants. But for those ones who don't, they think that, you know, the so called government run shit. And it's really, we run the government. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? There
we the
are
people.
public servants and shit like that. So it's like if people came together, the same thing goes for these so-called religious people in power and shit. We give their ass power. You get these motherfuckers power by standing behind them. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
military can only shoot but so many people because it's way more. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, the United States, it's 3 times as many guns as it is people, and it's 340 million people. So times that times three, and add that guns, boom. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like we all
can't
gonna
hit
go
that.
one day. We all gonna
Right.
go one day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when is somebody gonna stand the fuck up and do what's right? And it's time to do what's right because a lot of people are being wronged. You understand what I'm saying? So anybody hearing this and some bullshit just happening in your family, you got a molesting ass uncle, put that nigga on the wall. Speak about it. Talk about that shit in public. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna have your back. Somebody gonna be to stand there, you know what I'm saying, with you. Like, oh hell no, for real, it's going down like that. Well, I'm gonna make sure that ain't not gonna believe you me. The heroes gonna show themselves. Just like how they say the hoe gonna show herself, the hero gonna show himself. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? People don't like to talk candidly like that, but I will. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? The hero will show itself. So stand out there and be bold and speak up. You know what I'm saying? Pure point blank. Because things only persist when you allow it to persist. But once you put a stop to that shit, it stops. Pure point blank. A lot of things in the melanated community we don't like to talk about. There's a lot, fortunately, and ain't no body that I've heard of in my family because I'll be going to see their ass. You know what I'm saying? I'll be going to tighten their ass up around the edge, as they
Oh yeah.
say. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Like fuck all that we're family shit. And if you out here doing that shit, that listen, that related by blood don't stop nothing.
I
You
agree.
know what I'm saying? It don't stop nothing. So um, you know, when ones take that attitude, then these different things stop happening in our communities because they know, what I'm saying, first off, women know that they have someone that's gonna protect them and have their back. You understand what I'm saying? And same thing when it deals with, young boys and shit, young brothers, you know what I'm saying? They know somebody got their back. Like you understand what I'm saying? And we gotta start that the culture of that. You know what I'm saying? It starts with holding these so-called religious leaders accountable for their actions. You
Agree.
know what I'm saying? And right now, luckily, they're holding the Dalai Lama accountable for his actions. And I
Oh
rest.
yeah. Rest in peace when he died too. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, they say your Scorpios is extreme. Boy, your Virgos, man.
He can rest in peace.
I agree, but shit, yeah,
Yeah, man.
it is what it is.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, no, I definitely agree about that, man. Let's get on something more
Positive.
not
Go ahead.
lighthearted, but it's interesting. So, so I don't know if Mr. Sites has been listening, but do you remember? Can you recollect the Freakniks back in the day?
Yeah, I went to a couple of them in Atlanta.
Ooh, decisive
Yeah.
on that. Oh my God.
I didn't stay the whole time. No, like that stuff was
Well, you won a
like
few
way
times.
out of my league. I wasn't up for that. Ain't my type of turn up.
Okay.
So
Why you there then?
I
So
went, on the side. They had a couple of car shows, and because I was out of town, dealing with,
Doing the thing.
I wanted to see other racers and what they had and stuff. That
Ah,
probably was like an hour out of that whole day.
so
And
it was getting
we,
racy around that motherfucker. Is what you're saying?
no,
this
I
shit
mean, yeah. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. It
rapey.
was a lot. It was too much for me. But yeah, I went to see the cars. The second time, the first time, was just going to see what it was, and I was like, me and my homegirls, we kind of rolled out, and the second time, I went, me, my brother, and a few of our friends, go check out some cars, and that was it. That stuff ain't in our league. Like, we ain't about that life. I know I'm definitely not about that life. Even if my brother and the one to stay there, that's all well and good because they men, but that ain't no place for me ever in life. So,
Right.
So let me ask you a question. For the viewers that don't know, what typically goes down in Freaknik? Or what time of the year does usually Freaknik happen?
The summer months, of course, and just some of everything. Like the Freaknik, the name is just what it is. The Freaknik is freaks out everywhere. This, I don't know what they thought they was getting out of that shit. To be quite honest, like you just throwing yourself around and just deserting your womanhood.
Shit, I know
If
what they
they
was getting. I can
ever
tell you what they
have
was
any,
getting.
huh?
They was getting herpes. They
Yeah,
was
I
getting
mean,
syphilis. They was
yeah,
getting
yeah,
AIDS. They was getting a lot of shit.
yeah. Yeah, I mean they were just tossing it up,
So I
yeah.
bring that up for a specific reason, right? So
Okay, and they
for the,
tried to do
for
it
the,
here too. You know that, right? They tried to do it here at up here at Woodhill. They tried it a couple of years, and our turn the turn up here wasn't nowhere near. Everybody's really just in the park chilling.
we
That's what
don't.
some nice vehicles roll through, bumping sounds, everybody bumping sounds, everybody turning up, but it wasn't nothing. I do mean nothing like Atlanta.
Okay, so so I say that because I don't know if you've heard, or for the listeners that haven't heard, Freaknik actually record all the times they've been recorded, but right now they're going to gravitating towards the last one, which was Freaknik '98,
Okay. Okay.
and it's
Ooh.
excessively controversial because now they're coming out with a documentary, and people
Yeah, that's gonna.
are spooked. They people
What?
butthurt. You're gonna see a lot of grandmas. You're gonna see a
Yeah.
lot
Oh
of
yeah.
mamas
Oh yeah.
with
Oh yeah.
gold teeth giving them wah 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 wah
Yeah. Yeah.
3005.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're trying to take it off the shelf. I think Brother Muhammad was telling me about it. And if you could, expound upon it, I appreciate it because I don't know too much. I know of it, but I didn't know the extent. So what technically, as far as it entails with the documentary, Brother Muhammad, that we know or what they're saying about the controversy around this documentary per se.
You gonna see a lot of. You gonna see a lot of lewd and sexual acts going on. If they
Wow.
true to the story of the Freaknik, because I mean, basically that that's what a Freaknik is. It's called a Freaknik, and it's a Freaknik, you know, and it's some trifling. Look, I, I really don't know how what more I can say outside. It's just a whole lot of trifling mess that went on me as a person, as a woman, a female. I could never like. There is never nothing that serious in life. Well, I would go out in public in search of. I ain't never wanted that much attention ever. You know, and these girls is out here giving their whole souls away, and the men was
Sucking
taking.
souls out too.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of trifling shit. Period. You know.
Man, it was too many semen demons.
Yeah,
Hey.
tons of them. Tons of them.
Damn. So in the DVD, they're trying to. I think it's coming out on Hulu.
Really? Oh lordy.
And
Okay.
what's going on? Yeah, what's going on is you got a lot of. So these, I want to say, within your generation, a little bit older,
Mhm.
Generation X. Ooh, it's gonna be some mamas. It's gonna be some children. That's gonna be butt hurt,
Yeah.
and I
Ooh.
feel for 'em.
Wait. Yeah. The
It's
thing
gonna be
is
some
though,
grandmas on there like, baby, that ain't me. Ooh,
I
grandma,
don't
you
know.
doing full facial frontal assaults? No, that ain't me. Wah, wah,
Yeah,
wah,
but
wah.
you know what though? I don't know how much. I don't know just how much they're gonna be able to show because you still need consent to be able to show that stuff. So
Before they
we'll
even had
see.
consent.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, because everything requires consent, especially when you put it up on a big screen or whatever. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
but that was before the time of consent.
No, when it comes to TV, there's always been forms of consent that you'd have to sign in order to publish. And there are publishing rights. Even when it comes to
Well, if you think of no, I agree, but let's look at it like this. I know for a fact that this dude's walking around with them video cameras, and then girls like to perform in front of them video cameras and shit. So they,
hmm
you know what I'm saying? They was
yeah,
performing. They gave
yeah,
consent.
yeah,
They gave consent at the point in time. They didn't say, "Oh no, I don't want to be on camera." They didn't run away from the screen. They was on camera, just like the dudes on the what Girls Gone Wild shit. Like
yeah.
they can't really get in trouble because them girls flashed the camera or
Hey, but
whatever they did
listen,
on the
the
show.
difference between now and then though is that back when these freakniks and stuff were going on, like we weren't in the digital era like we are, so they didn't think
Right,
You're
anything
right.
of it as far as the future and them
right,
being exposed. That's the
right.
difference, and that's the
Yeah,
difference between what they're able to show. Of then, if they can get contact any of those hoes, albeit they all around, and you
Yeah.
know, might be a lot of dirty ass footage we about to see. Other than that, though, I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean,
I'm glad I never, I ain't never had no spear for it. I ain't never understood why. I never understood the why with that. Out of all the things that you could celebrate and stuff, and they chose to have a freak meet.
well, I mean, Atlanta is the capital of melanated America.
Mm-hmm.
It's the freak capital. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
sweet booty Judy.
Yeah, it's also the capital of the Ku Klux Klan too, but
I thought that was Indiana.
Kokomo, Indiana, yeah. But she
Yeah.
talking about Stone Mountain, Georgia. Like that's a major
yeah,
place
absolutely.
where they be at. That's where
Yeah.
the no fuck with crew or whatever that was called. The dudes that was military up who accidentally shot themselves 3 times.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that was foolish.
mm.
But gun safety is a must. But yeah, that's why they was patrolling that area, calling them out, I guess, for a civil war. They would have
And
lost at that point. They would have
so,
lost
I
at that.
mean, let me ask you a question. What do you on the panel? Your guys' opinion. What do we expect to see out of this freak meet? I mean, we know, but just from your perception of it,
What do you
because
mean? What do you expect to see? What do you mean? What do you mean, man?
man, the possibilities are endless. I mean, what do you think that you expect to see?
You're gonna see some freaky stuff, probably, or girls twerking. You're gonna see. Can I say it on air? Pussy popping on a handstand, stuff like that.
Yeah. Hey, look. I must admit that's the one thing that I did come back from Georgia with. Okay, so I ain't that damn
And
innocent.
that
I
and
did.
that went from New Orleans. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like I did come back from Georgia with the booty pop and the twerk. You know, cause yeah.
Sizer is popping on the
Hey, they
handstand.
hey listen. Up until we started coming back, like Cleveland didn't know what was going on and stuff, and it was a lot of, what I'm saying. Hey, look, we got some women that can suck, bricks out of a wall with they tight asses. You know what I'm saying? So,
Whoa,
we came back around
whoa!
doing that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's, there's a lot of women turning up their nose and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But 9 times out
They
of 10,
picked the
they ended
one to
up
go
doing it
down and
later.
listen to.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm real curious to see what they're gonna show, what they're
Who
able to
they
show.
gonna show?
I want
Pow!
to see it. I want to see it.
Auntie Crystal. That's not me.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be quiet. I hope I don't see nobody I know.
It's gonna be a lot of
But
church girls on there.
no, like you talked all that junk and you went there.
Getting
You know.
Jesus.
Yeah. I hope not. I don't want to see no cousins, no aunties,
Mm.
no great aunts. Mm-mm.
What about the people that see their moms on there? That's ooh.
Oh, that's so. Oh my gosh. Well,
Mama.
the one thing I hope is that if that's the case, that they're like, oh my God, mom, I can't believe, and I hope the further is from it. Otherwise, we know the other side of this scenario is that 9 times out of 10,
They gonna deny it,
either
but
deny
they
it or
supply
they can or their kids doing it too. You know how this stuff go. Some women
apple
don't
don't
bother
fall
break
from
the
the tree.
chains, or the curses. They don't bother breaking generational curses and stuff like that. They just keep that bullshit going.
Nah, listen.
So,
I ain't gonna load you. That's the equivalent of me seeing one of my peoples that I grew up with on the veteran
sheesh.
toilet. You are officially disowned. Do not
Mm,
worry about it. Get your life together. I'm done.
mm, mm.
You disown them because they got a little freaky in public.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely disowning her. I'm gonna say it.
It's
I don't care.
over. It's
Disown.
over.
Disown.
It's over.
Ostracized.
That's a lot.
Listen, shit.
That's a
This,
lot.
okay.
Cold, man. You cold, brother. What's wrong
Hey,
with
but
you,
that's
man?
a lot though, Lo, because like people
What's
like,
wrong
what
with
if
your
they not
heart,
that
brother?
same person today? What if they not that
Yeah,
same person today though? You know what I'm saying? That's not
man.
fair. Everybody
I
allowed
put it to you. I put it to you like this, because I get what
Let's
you're
go.
saying, but I put it to you like this. To me, it's a everybody needs to have a certain reputation. Well, you know what I always tell my nieces and them and everybody
Mm,
I
Man.
raise? You are a clear representation of me and vice versa. All I'm
mm,
gonna say is you have the
Ah.
luxury of doing whatever you want to do. But
mm-hmm.
just understand there are consequences and residual effects to any and everything that you do. As long as you know
Absolutely.
that, you know what I'm
Yo,
saying? So if you go, prime example, if you want to go on the super ghetto gaggers too, go
He
ahead.
said super ghetto gagger.
Just don't call me for nothing. You don't know me. I don't know you.
mm.
I wish you the best in life. Maybe I send you $100. I'm done.
True that.
Maybe I send you $100. All right, shit.
I will
Fuck
pay you to listen. I'll pay you 500 to never even talk to me again. Hey man,
Mm,
that's about
mm.
as much as you worth to leave me the hell alone.
Ooh, wee. Lordy, Lordy.
Nope, I'm not playing
that.
no games. That's just
Now, I
like
would say this though. I would say this though. Men. I mean, all right. So this is like the conundrum that we're currently in. You know what I'm saying? Women don't want them. Women don't want men to judge their past. You know what I'm saying? Yet and still, they judge us by our future, our future potential. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one and the same
yeah,
on opposite ends of the spectrum.
man.
Should
Listen,
I
men
don't know about
should
that.
men should men judge women's based on their past? I mean,
Nope,
shit.
not if they not the
Why
same
not?
person. Should nobody be judged by their past? Because that's just not a one perspective thing. Like nobody should be based off their past, especially if they've worked through, to live a different, i.e., better life.
What
Like
better life? You talking about material things that don't really exist? You can't take
not
when you
even
die.
material things, but just better ways of living, better habits in life, a better you, better habits,
I've
better
got a
li-
perfect
But
scenario.
but if they had if they had a mile long, you know what I'm saying, history of sex with all these, salacious acts with all these different men, you know what I'm saying, and you take her around respectable situations, and then somebody in a respectable situation seeing her at her low, you know
You
what I'm
really
saying, and
think
then
you gonna
the
know
two
that
sides,
about
like,
any
hold on,
woman? Come on now,
I can
that's
huh?
give you.
a stretch. You really think you gonna know
Okay,
that about any woman? You think you gonna know any woman's full life achievements of who they had sex with?
Maybe not the full life, but shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
enough.
saying?
that part,
But
that
hey,
part,
but
that
hold on,
part. Because
how full was their
technically,
life? They might have a full life, you know what I'm saying?
is that
Yeah.
something you gonna go searching
How
for? Because
full was their
technically,
life?
that ain't none of your business.
Yo, it's my business. Oh, it's
No,
my
it's
Ooh.
not none
listen.
of your
If
business.
you do
Come on,
listen, I'm put to you
superstar.
like this. If you doing full facial frontal assaults and various men's laps, oh, that's my business. Cause you know why I'm gonna make it my
Period.
business? I'm gonna
There
make
we
it my
go.
business to do what the fucking devil won't do and leave you the fuck alone.
Hey, yeah, but
Period.
what you gonna do to find out? Unless this stuff presents itself, what are you gonna do to find out that type of stuff?
Oh, I'm not gonna listen. I don't try to find out anything. Allah Wiley, He's going to sit up here and reveal anything that needs to be revealed to me.
Three
I'm gonna
things
give you
that
an
can't
example.
hide. Three things you can't hide forever: the sun, the moon, and the truth. So whatever's
Hey,
in the dark don't come to the light. Facts.
exactly.
But let me
So
tell you something. No, let me tell you something. Cause I got a couple girlfriends that was handy. Let me tell you something. That ain't never nothing y'all gonna find out. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, and I'm gonna ask that y'all stop fooling yourself with that scenario in your head. Unless all these men come to the forefront, like, hey, I mess with that. That shit ain't gonna happen.
right, but the
Unless she
thing,
volunteer that information, that shit ain't
she
gonna
should.
happen.
She should.
And
And it's just
who in the hell would volunteer that information only to be
okay.
judged?
Okay, here. I'm gonna give you another question. Who in the hell would do heinous acts without being judged or without nobody thinking somebody's not gonna say anything?
People living
That's
their damn
foolish.
life. That's who.
Listen,
And it's a lot of people,
listen.
men and
You
women. It's a lot of people that do it.
listen, and you're right. That
It's men
doesn't
that out here
Well,
justify.
men and
landing in the
women aren't the
pussy.
same when it comes.
It's
Men
women
and
out here
women
that
aren't the
land on any dick.
yeah. Men and women aren't the same. You know what I'm saying when it comes to sex. I've
What do
explained
you
that plenty
mean?
of times.
Yes, guess what? Let me
Women,
tell you something,
I'll
They're
brother.
tell you
not.
so what I mean. Hold
Hey,
on, let
well,
me
let me
tell you.
tell you something, brother. Let me break this
Let me tell
down
you
to
something.
you
Let me
real
tell you something,
quick.
guys. Let me tell
No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you
you.
something, brother. When you say men and women aren't the same when it comes to that shit, that's a
No,
damn. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you
genetically,
politely.
and
I'm gonna ask you
genetically,
politely to stop
spiritually, all
fooling
of that.
yourself when it comes to that shit. You know why I say that? Is because
Go
at the
ahead.
end of the day, when it comes down to anybody messing around with a lot of people, fuck the
Hmm.
fact that people know it's your personal insides, your
Hmm.
dick, your pussy.
That's not
It's
our
reason.
insides, though,
It's
Shuddy.
okay.
That's not our personal insides.
I
That's
said
only
it's
personal
okay.
insides
I
with
said
women.
insides, dick, pussy. You know what I'm talking about. Come on now, stop playing. And at the
So
end of the day,
Right, but it's a whole different.
guess what the common denominator for anybody that does all that bullshit equals to
well, that's on the
some
root. So
That's
that's
nasty
on the
ass
rudimentary
that's
diseases,
level.
only yeah.
nasty
But that's only
ass
to a certain yeah.
nasty
But that's only
ass
That's
to a
on the
certain
fucking
extent.
rudimentary.
diseases. And
We
guess what? When
Yeah.
it comes to dicks, Diseases lay dormant in dicks longer than they do pussies.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
well,
cool,
I mean,
Diseases.
that's
but to
not.
be honest,
Diseases
that,
is a common
that
denominator when it comes to anybody
Yeah, no,
that
that's a
fuck
cop out
around
though.
like that. It ain't good for
Right.
nobody, first of
Right,
all.
that's cool,
no, that's
but listen
true.
though, but at the same time, I mean that's cool. All right, anyone can get an STD. Wow, but what I'm talking
More
about
than
is this.
that. More than that. We're in the
More,
days of AIDS and HIV, and true enough,
that's an
they claim they
STD,
got something to cure this
sexually
shit or
transmitted
sustain.
disease. Right, that's all STDs. That's fine and dandy. We know that that's a risk.
No, it
You can
ain't.
also get pregnant. Now I'm saying another risk is one can have babies on accident if they didn't,
Ain't no such
plan.
thing as
And we
having
say
babies
accident
on
because they
accident.
didn't have a plan. You know what I'm saying? They didn't plan to have a baby. You
Ain't
know what
no
I'm
such thing as having babies on
saying?
accident. If you go up in a bitch raw, you can expect one or two things: a disease or a baby. And
Right,
Man,
a
right.
bitch
That's
common
still
that
sense.
you
not
go up in there raw,
but
guess
that's
what?
not
They
but
can
listen,
expect one or two things.
hold on. We we as Moors, we hang on the real word of things. So if someone does something on purpose, purpose is different from an accident. You know what I'm saying? Accident means that shit accidentally happened. We didn't plan for this to happen. It just happened.
Oh
That's an
man,
accident.
if you didn't
I'm
use
just saying.
protection, then you
Yeah,
planned on
definitely.
it
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Come
but
on now, we
that's
grown. We're not gonna keep on
that,
using them type of excuses no more. That's
that's not an
unacceptable.
excuse.
That's
Hold on. I
unacceptable.
don't
If
have
you
any
lay
children.
down without
Hold on.
protection, you
We're
can
getting
expect
past the point.
something.
Right. But we're getting past the point because that's definitely not where I was going with. What I was trying to tell and what I've explained plenty of times in the show is this. You understand what I'm saying? That women are the gatekeepers to sex, sacred energy exchange. Women choose who they lay down with and they let enter them unless it's rape.
Men
If it
will
ain't rape,
lay
if the
down with
woman,
too.
hold on,
You
hold
go
on,
to
hold
a
on, hold on, hold
woman,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. If it ain't rape, the woman chose who she let fuck her. Period. That's
yeah.
true. Now, men are the gatekeepers to men are the gatekeepers to relationships, obligations, and marriage. You understand what I'm saying?
Men
Men
pick
can
who
fuck
they
with
want to
men. Hold
fuck
on, hold on, hold on,
too.
hold on, hold on,
They
hold on,
can't.
hold on, hold on,
You
hold on.
can't look over
I'm
that.
not done. I'm not done. I'm not
They
done. You got to let me finish. You know what I'm saying? And uh, men again are the gatekeepers to obligations, marriage, and relationships. Men are the ones who generally come to the woman. You know what I'm saying? We do the chasing, women do the choosing. They choose who they let into them. You understand what I'm saying? But the man, he gets down on the one knee and all of that historically, you know what I'm saying, culturally, all around the world. That's the man's thing. So this new age thing of women proposing all that dumb shit, trying to emasculate the man, that's actually disrespecting masculinity. But in all actual reality, it's the woman's choice who she fucks unless she has been raped. Period. Point blank.
Mm.
And it's that man's choice who he chooses to marry. He
That
might
that
be
choice go both ways though, right? Because I
it
mean, a
can't.
man just
no, it
ain't coming
don't.
to a woman. A woman decide, hey, since you around, I want to fuck you. Like, nah, that shit go both ways when it comes to the choices and shit. Because ain't no man gonna
I
approach no
get
woman
that,
that
but
he
I'm
don't want
talking
to
about the
fuck.
gatekeeper. You know what a gatekeeper is,
Yes,
Ms.
I
Disciple.
do.
The gatekeeper, women are the gatekeepers of sex. You have to open your legs for the man to enter. You know what I'm saying? So you have to open the gate for the man to enter. Women are the gatekeepers, and for a relationship, the man has to, what I'm saying, let the woman enter into his life. That's the purpose, plan, patience thing that I was talking about a couple months ago. You understand what I'm
Let
saying?
the woman
Like a
enter into
man,
his
the
life.
gatekeeper. Yes,
That
hell
go
yeah.
both ways.
It can go both ways, but we see
It
society
does.
fuck.
It
We see
does.
society fucked up though because of that both ways bullshit. That only comes here in America, and you see America, Babylon is falling. Check your dollar. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the rest of the world is getting rid of that shit. It's a reason because this shit is not supposed to be that way. All this so-called independent woman bullshit. Look at America. It's fucked up. It's falling apart. It doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Women need husbands. Husbands need wives. Period. Family structures need to stand. And you know what I'm saying? Like all of this independence, no, people need to be codependent upon each other. They can be independent when they're out there or whatever, but when they come together, family structures, you know what I'm saying? It's a tradition or whatever, traditionally or whatever, how you want to say it. But, you know, when we look at the world, all this competition, like it seems as though women are competing, trying to compete against men, and men are just being themselves. It's like it's no competition because at the end of the day, you ain't building the house, you ain't building the building that you know what I'm saying once sit their businesses in. So that's the real reality of it. So it's like, where's this competition? It don't really truthfully exist. It's fake, and they're doing that shit and tearing up the whole social structure, and that's why this shit is falling apart. That's why Africa has kicked out all of that LBT, ABCDE bullshit that Kamala Harris just went over there tried to push on them because that shit is done.
Did
So
not just
that,
Africa, Abu,
that
Dubai, and a few other places.
Oh
that's
yeah.
yeah, forget all them other places. I'm just talking about in Africa. You understand what I'm saying? And they're trying to bring all that gay shit over there, and every single one of them African countries said, "No, hell no, we ain't on that shit." In certain countries, that shit is illegal. You know what I'm saying? You're going to fucking jail if you're trying to pervert our people with that bullshit because it's unnatural. You understand what I'm saying? And they ain't on that shit. And good thing they ain't on that shit. And guess what? Who else stood up against that? China. They got the name pad off their thing. And guess who has all the relationships with Africa? China. Right. So certain things, all this bullshit that happens over here, it's the reason why there's such thing as passport bros and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the structure here is fucked up. And until it goes back to how it originally was, it's going to continue to be fucked up and it's not going to get any better. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to get any better just because we want it to get better. Yeah, we definitely want it to get better. But if people don't stick to their roles, traditional roles and shit like that, like the reason why your parents' relationship was successful and grandparents and all that other shit was successful is because people stuck to their traditional roles of man respecting woman, woman respecting man. You know what I'm saying? All this disrespect and all this shit that's out here in today's world, you know what I'm saying? This is not how it's supposed to be. It's not how it's supposed to be. And that's why it's messed up. Period point blank. You know what I'm saying? Period point blank. There ain't nothing good about this shit. And the rest of the world sees it. It's just we don't see it.
No,
And
I
because
agree.
we don't see it, we keep suffering. Or we see it maybe on this panel. But as a whole, melanated people community wise don't see it because we keep allowing and accepting shit instead of putting the shit down where it needs to. Like all those respectable African president said, "Hell no, we don't want that shit in our country. Hell yeah, that shit's no, we're not allowing that shit. We're gonna focus on our real issues. And who someone's sleeping with isn't the issue of our country. So we don't want that issue here. Keep that shit over there." You know, so I got countless showings of that, and it all plays a part. You know what I'm saying? Like all these roles are reversed. The fuck you mean? A woman getting on her, get the fuck out of my face. I'm gonna leave you high and dry. I'll never talk to your dumb ass again. Try to, you know, say get married. Fuck out of here. I ain't your bitch. Like, nah. You know what I'm
And
saying? Nope. You know what I'm saying? No, no, no. Like,
and
so
it goes back to what we originally said. We don't start inflicting shame within the community, it's gonna run rampant like it's continuously doing. That's why I give you prime example. Like you said, I want to give you an extreme. Since you want to go to an extreme, I'm gonna get this real quick scenario. Sarah Marinelli, but many people know her as Pinky. Now, Pinky has done countless scenes in the adult entertainment. What a lot of people don't know is Pinky has a daughter. So my question is this: what do you do when you are out of the business? You no longer want to do it, and you want to go to a PTA meeting. Let's just say if Pinky had a son, he goes to a PTA meeting. You see all of the male counterparts in the school laughing at her, pointing at her, trying to look at her and stuff like that. The little boy not knowing. Next thing you know, he in the lunchroom and he see his mama doing all types of full facial frontal assaults and all that. He doesn't have the right to have shame. He doesn't have the right to be like, you know what? And I don't blame him, even if his mama provided him a lifestyle. It doesn't matter. At what cost is it when she's given so much of herself to the world to the point where she can no longer come back from it? The only thing that she can do is that. She can't do no other job. Oh, what's your skills? I have no gag reflex. Ma'am, have a good day. This is a bank. Have a good day. Nobody cares. You have to be a person of a certain level of substance and to be respected. And if you can't do that, and yet you're going to continue on your family lineage and legacy, yes, you should be ostracized for shit like that.
and it's the whole thing about it. Why are they now trying to put a whole stop of the of the Freaknik thing? You know what I'm saying? But you allow all this other shit. You know, we
Exactly.
can't see your salacious acts. You gotta hide it now, but you know everything else can go. Nah, man, fuck that shit. One got to take a stand on that. Like, because
I,
you know a prime example is this, right? Bush, aka Bud Light. You know what I'm saying? They ran an ad with a transvestite. You know what I'm saying? And so all like Kid Rock, he shot like 12 cans of Bud Light beer. You know what I'm saying on camera. You know what I'm saying? Put it on YouTube, uploaded it or whatever on his social media and shit. Shot up the cans and shit that had the face of the transvestite on the Bud Light campaign. All these Europeans came together and said, "We ain't drinking this shit." None of those, and I'll stand with them on that aspect. I ain't about to drink no fag beer. Fuck out of here. So
Man,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, just
what?
period point blank. I'm just period point blank. You just call it what you want. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? And I respect all them country music singers and all that shit who, had the balls to stand together and say, hold on, we not about to support, you know, advertise, invest our money in to a cause that we don't fucking believe in. Yet and still the women, you know what I'm saying, the women that coming out saying, hold on, we stand against, this this Freaknik movie coming out, but at the same time you didn't stand against, morally, you didn't stand against doing the acts, the salacious acts that you portrayed on camera at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I get it, people change, they get older and blah blah blah. But at the same time, why are we standing against trying not to expose the truth when it's all type of shit that people, so-called black people, should be standing up against to put down? You understand what I'm saying? Like, nah,
Real?
that's the shit that that needs to change on that aspect. Like, nah,
No,
it ain't.
I still with you.
Fuck
Like
out of here.
you said it. Couldn't have said it more eloquently than what you just said because it's just sheer utter bullshit. Because you
Yeah.
want to sit up here, you want to point shave and keep it within the realms of where it's convenient for you, and you also want to move the goalposts when it meets your when it doesn't meet your narrative, when it's at your convenience as well too. You can't have it both ways. If you want to do full facial frontal assaults, prime example, you want to be Mia Khalifa, you want to master the art of no gag reflexology, cool. Don't get mad, and as long as you are prepared to deal with the consequences and residual effects of your actions, I don't mind. Listen, bro, you can do all the facial frontal assaults in everybody's house known in Cleveland, Ohio. As long as you're willing to prepare to deal with those consequences of your actions. Yes, you're going to be Miss Whine, all that shit. Now you're going to go to a job interview and people, what's your name? Me, oh, who are you? Then they got 1,000 scenes of you on the adult video network doing all types of stuff. That's your fault because you chose that. Nobody else's. Bad decision making, poor judgment, and character. Nobody told you to do that. And you, as long as you prepared, and that's the problem. People don't ever want to be prepared for what's in store. They don't want to look at what's going to happen in the future or what can possibly happen in the present. I'm gonna do what I want. This is a childlike mindset that we have. We need to get the hell up, the fuck out of.
Well, that starts with one's, you know what I'm saying, not accepting the slave label of minority. You know what I'm saying? A minority is an adult who thinks with the mind of an adolescent. Everyone who considers themselves to be an adult can started to consider themselves an adult past the age of 18 here on the United States corporation. You understand what I'm saying? um, that may or may not be true. A person is an adult at 18. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I would say I would beg to differ, but you understand what I'm saying? According to their fake, legal system, 18 is an adult around places. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
once you're over 18, or once you hit 18, you're of the age of what? The majority. You're no longer the what? The minority. You know what I'm saying? You're above the age of majority, but yet still a whole group of people can consider themselves or be considered a minority. It's a complete 100% mind fuck because we see that it's a hood. If so-called white people outnumber so-called black people in the so-called United States of America, why is it that there's a hood in every city, in every suburb in America? You know what I'm saying? How the fuck is that so?
Yeah.
Because they always redline our neighborhoods pretty much and put us in a place where it's just us. You know what I'm saying? Away from them because they do things as so-called white flight and different things such as that. You know what I'm saying? Or they build freeways, you know what I'm saying, to separate, I'm saying, the melanated areas from, the areas that are not that. You understand what I'm saying? They do certain things to, you know, make it a point that the people, melanated people are together and they're away from them. You know what I'm saying? The ones that don't want to be around us. They made sure to, architecturally and all that shit, they made sure, you know what I'm saying, to steal what was ours and put themselves in there. Like all the rich neighborhoods around, the country, the so-called country, those used to be our neighborhoods and shit. They just stole them. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
And gave us this. You know what I'm saying? So, um, you know, how is it truthfully that they outnumber us? So even in those instances, because at the end of the day, if you add up all the Mexicans, all the so-called black people, all the Chinese people, all the different nationalities, what I'm saying, that domicile here at United States Corporation, you understand what I'm saying? They definitely outnumber the European. Like it's not even 100 million European in United States, not natural, not naturalized, so-called United States citizens, or should I say 14th Amendment United States citizens. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like it's maybe like 88 million of them. At the most, it's 112 million of them, and that's all the nationalities combined. That's English, Irish, I'm saying, Polish, German, Russian, Scottish. You understand what I'm saying? Italian, Spanish from Spain, Portuguese. You understand what I'm saying? All of these different European nationalities all combined create like 88, in between 88 and 112 million Europeans. Well, as the rest of the 340 million people that call United States Corporation home, what I'm saying, makes up the rest of that. So we're not the minority, but we are the minority. Not we, but the people that don't know are the minority, what I'm saying, based off the mindset. You understand what I'm saying? So
that's it.
we ain't minority shit, but since ones allow, these oppressors, so-called oppressors, to consider them and they self, what I'm saying, they self-identify as a minority, then you take on the mindset of that claim, which is an adult who thinks with the mind of an adolescent. And then you see so-called black people running around here acting like motherfucking kids. How many? I mean, how many this summer? How many times you gonna see a dark-skinned melanated woman with blonde hair? Like, bitch, that is not your color. That's not your hair. Like, or blue or pink or any other wild color. You know what I'm saying? Like, or people celebrating and going to the bar every single Friday. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, what the fuck is you celebrating? You know what I'm saying? Failure. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, motherfuckers celebrating failure in the melanated community. Like certain shit. Why was we doing this shit? Like, what the fuck? It don't even make any sense. So, if we don't want to be considered a minority, we got to stop acting like kids. And we know a kid is a baby goat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we all those designations don't even fit us, but it's like we making those things fit us. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with letting your hair down. You know what I'm saying? Party every once in a while, but goddamn, every week, you know what I'm saying? Then you broke into a payday. Like we got to stop. That's childish. You know what I'm saying? Jay Z one point in time said, what did he say? He said, being broke, like I'm too grown. Like basically, I'm too grown to be broke. Like you know what I'm saying? Like as a people, like we do same systematic things to put us in systematic situations and shit. And we got to think our way out of it. It's about time we think our way out of it at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's about time, and it starts with the language. You know what I'm saying? Starts with the language for real, because words cast spells. But beyond that, it's the mindset and a few other things. But if you're a minority, you're an adult who thinks with the mind of an adolescent. Or anytime that you hear that shit on TV, and you hear them talking about so-called black people, so-called, Mexicans and all the other so-called minorities, they're literally calling you a bunch of children. They're saying that you're adults who think with the mind of an adolescent. So don't accept that shit for yourself unless it's true. And if you're over 18, It ain't true. I use the flow.
Hey, quick question, y'all. Where did EJ go?
Um, I don't know.
Muhammad, something must have happened.
Yeah.
He must have fell asleep.
Yeah, he probably did know him. All right, but so all right, good people. This is about rounds up our time, and I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate everybody that's listening right now. If you want to contact us, you can go to morethanmeetstheeye@gmail.com. You want to show us some content, if you would like to drop some stuff as far
Boogie,
as your
shut
situation,
up.
you want our perspective on it. Hey, go ahead and drop that on us and at that Gmail once again, more than meets the eye. You could also catch me on IG with a capital A, capital J, three uppercase I's like the numeral three, Cleveland. And where could they catch you, Nova?
Well, first off, if they trying to leave some information for the show, like an email or just a whatever, saying comments, concerns, you can send it to more than meets the eye. But the way to spell that is MUURTHANMEETS not the, but THEEI, EYE at gmail.com. Just wanted to spell that out. But you can reach me personally. I didn't really expound on what I do, but I'm an herbalist and different things like that, dealing with healing and naturopathy, holistic situations for people. And if you need to get in tune with me, you can always reach out at 216-556-1225. Again, 216-556-1225. And my name is Noble Khan. You can also reach out to me if you're on social media. My page is at underscore, I start with that, at I underscore am underscore the real underscore Noble Khan. That is NOBLEKHAN. And with that being said, we out.
Hey man, y'all make sure that y'all drive safe, but as we always say, stay dangerous.
Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like Muur. Systematic oppression, leaving families torn. We was kings and queens the minute we was born. Treat us like a pawn, imperialize the lawns. If we ain't bearing arms, how we really strong? How we gonna go to war if our pockets ain't long? Create a black Wall Street, then they dropping a bomb. Manipulate the weather, then creating a storm. Hanging is a norm if you don't want to conform. Now cases is adjourned without a concern. Racism ain't genetic, it's gotta be learned. That the jail was where they need to be without a return. They say it's free, but freedom simply gotta be earned. Constitution and old ways simply gotta be burned as the world turns. Research cause you gotta discern. Study up, cause there's always knowledge to learn.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to More Than Meets the Eye on the station where we don't bring no static, but we sure don't bring the noise on staticradio.net. Make sure you guys check us out on social media where we absolutely love to hear from you on Facebook.com/slash on Static Radio LLC, on Twitter at No Static underscore radio, on Instagram at The Real underscore No Static Radio. Ooh, there it is. And on YouTube at No Static Radio. Hey, listen, guys, we also accept donations too. Help out, support local black businesses in your neighborhood, in your area, in your city, or your state. Just cash app us whatever you feel generous about at No Static Radio. Well, not at $ No Static Radio. Anyway, if you guys want to listen to replays of this show and others on NoStaticRadio.net, make sure you check us out on Mixler.com or Mixcloud.com. Just type in No Static Radio, all one word, in the toolbar for replays of this show and others. And for continuous streaming, you guys know you can check us out on TuneIn.com, LiveOnlineRadio.net, or MediaQ for continuous streaming uninterrupted of this show and all others on the platform and broadcast. And for all things on Static Radio, including up and coming events, merchandise, and an in-depth look at all our great show hosts, please check out our website at www.nostaticradio.net. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in on this Mind Day Monday. You know what it is. Hit up Mixler and make sure you go listen. We got music playing 24/7. I'm your girl Decisive. Thanks for listening in on More Than Meets the Eye, and we're out.